This video is brought to you by Fallen Dominion Studios. Check out their website at fallendominionstudios.com. Have a sharp disagreement on, and that's your own problem. You don't like good games. You don't like good games. That's the problem. Yeah, and I give you that.
No, you cannot have a sword. No, take away the sword.
No.
What? Sit down and actually think
This is the look of serious surprise.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it. Welcome back to the Dice Odyssey. I'm Kas.
I'm Bryan.
And this is part 2 of our top 30 games of all time, according to us, right? And then this is going to be part 2, which means we're going to be going from 20 down to number 11 today, and then we're going to get to the coveted top 10 on the next list. So if you haven't seen our first list and you don't want to be spoiled, go back and check that out. That's 30 down to 21, part 1. So anyway, we're really excited to get right into it. Bryan, you ready to do the roll off to see who gets to go first? 12. Okay, I can beat this.
That was 20 before.
He beat me last time. It's not happening again. Of course, it's all luck, right?
Humiliation.
Half of what I got.
Best 2 out of 3.
You're half the gamer.
12. Now you go. If you win again.
Oh.
Yeah!
Flawless victory.
In your face! Anyway, I feel better now.
You can go first.
So, for my number 20, I want to see if you just guessed the first one right off the bat. What are you thinking?
Going domino.
Oh my gosh, really? Dude, just because you love a game does not mean that it necessarily was my love.
Per our conversation earlier.
Oh, come on. No, but it is a game that you really, really enjoy. And it's by the same company, Blue Orange Games. New York, 1901. This game is a game that, like, it's funny because it reminds me so much of Ticket to Ride in the style of game that it is, except you're not completing tickets so much. You're just taking cards from a major pool, and then you're actually using those cards as almost like building contracts.
You're using it like a blueprint.
Yeah, it's like blueprints. You're placing it's almost like it has a slight worker placement element to it, but it's not in the same style that you're normally thinking. What you're doing is you're actually placing workers on a map to determine whether or not you're holding that plot of land to actually build a building there. And at the same time, you can build a building on the same turn. And it's actually really cool because they go with a really cool historical element to it, because what would happen in that time frame when New York was really coming up, jokingly, when it was really coming up, you would have people who would buy a plot of land and then sit on it, and then other people would have to build around it. So you had these really odd shaped building plots, and it really looks like a bunch of Tetris pieces on the board.
Yeah,
and that was something that I really enjoyed. There can be a little bit of a take that little cutthroatness in the game, because I could be building in a specific area because there's different colored areas, and you're trying to get as big of buildings as you can, especially those legendary buildings like the Woolworth building. They're worth so many points. And if, for example, if I'm building in an area, he might decide to take a certain plot of land in the same area and take it away from me, just so I can't build a bigger building. And I love the fact that you go from bronze, silver to gold building. It's got a really cool timing mechanic in it too, because you can't build them all at once. You have to go in sequence, and depending on how many points you get, you're actually able to build a certain type of building from bronze, silver to gold. So anyway, great game, fun family game. It's maybe tiny bit more complex than Ticket to Ride, but not by much. Not by much.
I wouldn't say it's really that much more complex.
I mean, it depends on what Ticket to Ride you're playing.
It USA also map depends on who you are. To me, it flowed real naturally for me.
Yeah, I would say this is a great family weight game. So anyway, that's going to be number 20 for me. New York, 1901.
This one here is a great party game.
Oh,
Cash and Guns.
Cash and Guns, yeah.
Bang bang. When I first attended that group, played that. that was just something I've never experienced before. It's just
a gun pointed in your face.
Yes, in a game. I just love that you're grabbing for trying to get as much of the loot as possible. You're battling to see who's the next boss. Mm-hmm. I really love that aspect in that game. It just really. It's so the mechanics in it are just so fun and it flows so great. Mm-hmm. Everybody at the table, I don't think anybody at the table really hates the game. I mean, I think everybody really enjoys and really gets into it, and just no, what do you point the gun at me for? I'm on your side. Yeah. Type deal. I mean, we
all try to say that. Yeah. Leave me alone, man. It's a bluffing game. Really.
Yeah, it really is a bluffing game, and the type of conversations that come up, trying to get people not to go for you the next round.
Is my gun really loaded, or do I have a blank in there? Do you trust me to last? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
I really just love all the mechanics in the game and how it gets everybody together, and just the fun that comes out of that.
Yeah,
I really enjoy that.
Get the loot, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, my number 19 game, a bit of a worker placement game. It's a game where you're actually taking your cavemen out to actually gather resources for your village, and there's even a love shack involved to create more workers.
This is one I've been wanting to play for quite a while. We just haven't brought it out.
Number 19, Stone Age.
No, okay.
Is that not the one?
Oh, okay. No, I have looked into that one.
Okay, Stone Age is a heck of a lot of fun to play, and honestly, it's just a straight worker placement, resource gathering game. I like the idea of being able to send your workers out, your cavemen, and you're able to. They got 3 huts in the middle here, and you're able to send them to huts. There's one that allows you to gain automatic food. It's like an engine building in a sense. It has an automatic food every turn because you have to feed your people every turn, and so you've got to make sure you've got enough food coming in so you can send them out to hunt. You can send them out to build shacks and do different building programs. You can send them out to canoes that are bringing in resources that you need, and workers like modifiers for in-game scoring. And so, you can do that. There's a little love shack in the middle where you can actually create extra workers. You put 2 of your workers there, and guess what? They're going to create a baby, and it's going to turn into another indentured servant. So anyway, and then they also have a way that you can actually get temporary what do you call them? The little stone axes, or what do you call those things? Stone hammers that basically signifies a way to mitigate your dice. Because at points you're able to take dice and you're rolling them and you're trying to see how many pips you get to fill up a certain amount of what you need to gain resources. It's better to see it, to understand it. But it is a heck of a lot of fun. I've never had this game fall flat. Unfortunately, I don't own it, but I get to play it a lot now on my iOS. I fell in love with the game to begin with, and I was like, I got to have it on my phone. So I play it pretty regularly. It is one that comes out all the time. And if I had it, and it's really hard to find right now for a cheap price.
Do they have doors in there?
Oh my gosh, Love Shack.
No. I'm saying, do they have?
Anyway, go ahead, brother.
All right, so my number 19 is, I don't know.
I'm gonna.
You're not gonna.
Go. Give me some details. I'm gonna try to guess.
Let's see. Different time period. Alternate reality.
Time stories.
No.
Really? What is it?
Sci.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I mean, you know why I just said time stories.
Yeah.
Different time periods.
Yeah, different time period. It's a different time period, but different reality,
alternate realities, yes.
So, I mean, I really like the theme on this one. It's got the post World War II type, or World War One really type. I always think Nazis for that game for some reason.
Everything's Nazis around that time.
I love the mechanics in it, the worker placements in it. I'm still trying to get where the mechs come into play on it, but the more I play this game, the more I start to really, I think it's going to move further up my list.
The mechs are more like a worker carrier and
they are
more of a deterrent than anything else in the game.
Transport. But the more I play this, the more I like it. It started further down on my list, and it just keeps rising.
It's a good engine builder, man.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the strategy involved in it.
Oh, it takes
a while to. So I'm still trying to get involved in the strategy on that one, but I really like how the worker placement is done in that one.
Oh yeah,
it's different for everybody.
Yeah, I like that upgrading your tableau as well. You know,
that
upgrade system is interesting.
Yeah, it's very different and complex.
Number 18. This game, I don't think this game's getting a lot of buzz right now. I think it's actually flown under the radar for a lot of people.
Is it worker bees?
Buzz, right? Yeah. Bzz. But anyway, this game is all about you are a deep salvage crew on mission in deep space to actually bring back different, salvaging things that you need for Earth. And on your way back, you find out that you've contracted an alien parasite, and now you're trying to figure out who at the table actually has the alien parasite. The problem is that the person who has the parasite doesn't even know they've got it, but half the crew are government agents in a sense who want to use the parasite for weapons and whatever kind of foul means that they want to use it for, and the other half of the crew are trying to keep it from landing on Earth, and they're trying to jettison this guy out the airlock.
I like that game.
This game, Burke's Gambit, my number 18. It is a hidden role game, and I almost say there's actually another game that's done this for me. I'd almost say this game has actually replaced the Resistance for me somewhat.
Yeah,
because it does that.
I would say so. I'd definitely say it's better than the Resistance.
Yeah, because don't get me wrong, the Resistance is a great game, but this one I like the idea that you're dice rolling and you can mitigate those dice. You can save dice to help you in different ways. You can kill people at the table. Different people have different special powers. You have different characters that you are. I love that.
I like that the dice get you more involved in it.
Yes,
and that's the thing Resistance doesn't have. It just doesn't have that involvement.
Right. And so because you have those dice, it does, that's exactly, it's a tactile feel of it, but also there's some cool strategic, granted, you're using dice, so it's not that strategic, but the dice do help you suss out different people and who they might be working for and things like that. Great game. Awesome. You really need to check this one out. Burke's Gambit, my number 18.
My number 18, King of Tokyo.
Wow, okay.
It's one of those games I really love and enjoy, and it's one of those first ones that really introduced this kind of Yahtzee style gaming when I got back into gaming several years ago. I love the fact that you get in there, you got the one guy in the middle of the board, and everybody's going for him. And the guy in the middle is going for everybody out there.
Doesn't hurt us giant monsters either.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I really love that whole it kind of gives me that feeling of Rampage in a way.
Yeah, and that movie really just now coming out.
Because there's a Rampage game which really doesn't give me the feel of Rampage. You've seen that?
Oh yeah.
I don't like that Rampage game.
Yeah,
I've looked at it, but
just drop things.
I really like
buildings.
I really like how you can win in different ways.
Yeah,
I mean,
the cool thing is it's also such a gateway-ish style game. Matter of fact, I know people have come into the hobby with that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I got King of New York, which I don't enjoy as much as King of Tokyo. It's just too many extra things to do in it. I played it King of New York a couple times, and I'd rather play King of Tokyo.
Well, King of New York's more like a gamer's version of King of Tokyo.
You really need more people to play it. You can't just pick up this one with like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
And play King of New York.
Cool.
King of Tokyo.
Awesome. Oh, my number 17. This game is one that is actually quite popular. Still, and I think it's been out a little over 10 years now. I could be wrong there, but I think it's over 10 years. And it's all about setting out a grid of power plants. And it's all about resource management, economics, putting your little power plants on the board, buying new power plants at auctions, trying to outbid everybody else to get a better power plant, from charcoal to nuclear to recyclables. Power Grid, my number 17. This game, even though it is a longer game, and it does get pretty mathy, and it's a straight Euro game, right? It has never fallen flat for me. I have had people who have come over and played all sorts of other games with me and still say this is their favorite game they've ever played. A couple people have said that. that they've ever played
I've
with.
never been available on those nights.
Well,
unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's going to change soon. You might see some shifting on your top 10 if you play this a few times.
Probably
I don't know.
so. I've been trying to play it for years. Never got the ability.
We're gonna get to it pretty soon. But yeah, this game, if you have not checked it out, and I love the fluctuating market that it's got. I like the fact that people who are buying the resources they need to, like, if the coal, the oil, whatever, they buy them to run the power plants that they have, like the coal, the oil, or the what do you call it, the hybrid plants that can run any different style. I like the fact that the more that they buy, the more cost effective, or the less cost effective it gets for other players. So you are strategically, from where you're placing your power plants in different cities, you're strategically placing there. You're strategically trying to figure out what power plants to get, because this way you have options in your resources that you buy. And what you're going to do, as I've seen some people do this at the table, they try to buy certain resources just to drive the prices up on other people. It's awesome, and I love that. And yeah, great game. We cannot talk enough about it. It's so good.
I want to play it so much.
Yeah, it's definitely it's right up your alley. It really is. This is the game that was like made for Brian. I really believe that. So, alrighty.
So my number 17 is Ticket to Ride.
Okay.
The USA.
Wow, you didn't go Europe.
I didn't go Europe.
I thought you liked that one better.
No, the Ticket to Ride USA. I really like it better than Europe, just mainly because I can find all the cities easier, and I can plan my longest train.
That's why they have a map for all the different countries.
I don't know why, but I always seem, no matter who I play with, I always seem to get the longest train card.
Not me.
I don't know how many times I've played that with you and gotten it.
Quite a few.
But
I'll give you that.
I really like you're buying different cars, you're assembling your train track, you're connecting your routes. I really like playing those. Mm-hmm. The tickets, I've tried to get my wife to buy this several years ago, and she's like, no, we're going to get this other game here.
This is before you really got heavily back in.
Oh yeah, this is before I really got back in. I looked at it, I was like, this is probably a great game to play. Mm-hmm. No, we bought Catchphrase instead. But no, I own Ticket to Ride Europe.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I play Ticket to Ride USA over here mainly, and also play it on my phone.
Oh yeah,
and I mean, it just
that iOS app or Android, the app is
both
amazing.
of them. And it's just awesome that you get to play all that, and you can play with whoever you want to, by yourself, computer, or somebody across the country. But Ticket to Ride USA is my number 17.
My number 16. This game seems to still reign supreme in many people's minds about Xbox. See, I know where your mind is. This game is D&D in name only, because that's the theme of the game, and it's a worker placement game. Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah, I really don't think that deserves the name D&D, because it has nothing about that.
And this is coming from a guy that played a lot of D&D growing up.
No, Dungeon Master here. No, it's not a...
I even got you the right kind of die for it.
A little big, but...
Yeah, I know. And that was... I question whether or not I should put it on the list, because I love the game, and I've played it a lot on the tabletop, but I've also played it probably more so on my phone. And I think it translates extremely well to the phone. But this game is all about you sending your workers out. You've got these quest cards that you're trying to complete, and you're just sending workers out to go and hire, it could be mages, could be, fighters, whoever is needed for what the quest card says. Quite frankly, it ultimately ends up being a cube pusher. It's a Euro game, but it doesn't matter. Somehow the mechanics meld in, and I love the fact that you can create more places to go by building little buildings on the side that have your marker on them that shows if anybody goes there, they get a benefit, but you also as the owner get a benefit. And I also like the intrigue cards where you can actually slap somebody else down if they're getting further ahead. You've got so many cool little facets to the game. It is a very, the thing I like about it has a very almost gateway-ish feel to it in terms of ease of entry. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a gateway game, but it is definitely a very easier game than some to get into.
It was pretty easy to get into. My biggest thing with it was, you said Dragons.
I know.
Yeah, let's get into it. And you get into it, like,
You say that to a guy like him who loves Dungeons and Dragons and played a lot of it.
It was on,
it's hard, man.
It kind of seemed like Dungeons and Dragons meet The Sims.
I guess so. I mean, you almost and really it's Dungeons and Dragons in name only.
This is Dungeons and Dragons.
Now I will say this. Hold on. I will say this. The expansion. I'm forgetting the Scoundrels of Skullport and the Undermountain expansion actually do improve that theme a little bit more because it adds a corruption meter. Like if you do a lot of bad things, you get more corruption. It can affect your outcome.
You can label it anything you wanted to, and it's.
No, I know.
D&D.
I know, but hey,
that's what got me away from it. That's why I've only played it once.
Come on, man. I know because you grew up with it. I got that.
I expected Dungeons and Dragons, and I got Euro.
I think, and I give you that.
No, you cannot have a sword. No, take away the sword.
I give you that. But I still think you should give it another chance. We're going to deal out
these objective cards.
Oh my gosh!
You must.
I know it. I know it's a cube pusher, and I know we'll probably have some people down in the comments who think the same way, more than likely. But the fact is, it's still a quality game, and there's a reason why so many people still enjoy it to this day. I think they did a great job on it, and I think the expansion does bring that theme out a little bit more.
I might give it a second chance. Just I have to go into it with saying this isn't Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, it's the same thing I did with Rising Sun and Blood Rage. Okay, I went into it with a certain expectation,
but it didn't.
And that's why I didn't like. That's why I didn't like Rising Sun at first. But I gave it another chance, and I kept going, and I was like, okay, it's starting to grow on me. I still
Blood
think
Rage, Rising Sun.
Yeah, and we're gonna and hey,
Rising Sun.
Just. He hates Blood Rage, or you strongly dislike it.
It's just not my.
See, we're rabbit trailing again on something else that we have a sharp disagreement on, and that's your own problem. You don't like good games. You don't like good games. That's the problem. So anyway, that is my number 16. A very divisive choice. I knew he'd probably have a problem with it because he didn't really care for it the first time we played it. I know.
I mean, it was
whatever.
It was fine. I could take it or leave it. And just leave out the Dungeons and Dragons name, and then it'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, what's your 16, man? Let's get them moving on.
All right. So my number 16 is
too much time on that bull.
Is one you've already listed off. I don't know if you.
So we got a crossover?
Yeah, we got a crossover.
On this list or from last?
On this list.
Hold on. Let me check a while. Let me take a guess.
I was actually shocked that it was on your
New
list.
York 1901.
No.
Go ahead.
Burke's Gambit.
Oh, you kidding? I didn't think you liked it that much.
No, I loved it.
I know you played it with me a lot, but I'm saying I didn't think it was like as enjoyable for you.
Well, that night it may not have seemed like it the couple times I played just because it was late at night and I was tired. Those were nights I was working really late.
Man, we had such a great time.
No, I like the space theme involved in it.
Yep.
I like the
sci-fi,
the hidden player objectives. Mm-hmm. I really like that aspect, especially with the symbiote.
Yeah.
Parasite.
Yeah.
I just thought Stargate, Star Trek, all in one.
We are geeks to the core on this stuff. We love sci-fi. You say sci-fi, we're interested in that game.
And I've always, I've kind of heard of Burke's Gambit before we played that, and I kind of wanted to, but I've always had in the back of my head I wanted to play a game where there was something like that involved. Mm-hmm. And when I played that, I was like, this is it. I really enjoyed the rolling of the dice, trying to repair the ship, trying to get out there, take the symbiote back, or try to eject them out of the airlock. I really enjoyed that part of the game. And like we were talking about before, it's like Resistance, but it just adds a lot more.
The theme is like, I didn't think that, I went into it in such a small box, I didn't think the theme was going to be that strong, but I felt like, okay, I'm on a ship and I've got to suss this person out.
As we've seen, some of the best themes come from small boxes.
Yeah, that's true. I was amazed by myself, and I also know that's why you also want to play The Thing, the new game.
I want to play The Thing mainly because I love the movie.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying it has that kind of almost that style.
Yeah.
But see, they're in a remote place and they got to kill this thing before it gets out where it can hurt other people. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, cool, man. I had no idea that would be on your list. That was a complete surprise.
I didn't think it'd be on yours.
Complete surprise. Alrighty. My number 15, I'll go ahead and give you a hint. It's by Fantasy Flight Games. It is a Star Wars game. Now, I've got several on my shelf.
Yeah.
But what do you think made the list?
It's not Armada. It's not It's not even the miniatures. It's
They
either
go wild
Imperial
guess.
Assault or what's the other one that's up there?
I'll go ahead and say it if you want.
Go ahead.
Star Wars Rebellion.
That's the other one.
This game, it is ridiculous bear to teach, which is why I think Watch It Played, as far as I know, still hadn't put up a Watch It Played about that.
This reminds me.
Unless they did, I could be wrong, but for a long time, people have been begging them to put one
From
up.
last time you talked about this game, it reminds me of a old Star Wars computer game that came out years ago.
Not TIE Fighter versus...
No, because you're going to
Not Knights of the
planets
Old
and stuff
Republic.
like that. I don't remember. I didn't like the game. I gave it away to somebody.
Well, anyway, this game has you either being the Empire or the Rebellion, and you've probably heard of it by now because it is sold like hotcakes and it is extraordinarily popular. And the Rebellion has, I mean, there's like, I forget how many planets, 30-something planets on the board. The board is gigantic. Okay, and you got little miniatures of the actual Star Destroyer. You got Super Star Destroyers, which I know you want to get into. Super Star Destroyer. You got Death Stars if you're the Empire, and the Rebellion's got some cool ships. It's got the Mon Calamari cruisers and things, but they have a smaller fleet, which makes sense because the Empire is stretched across the whole galaxy, and it is. And I've heard people say this, and it absolutely is Star Wars in a box. You get the entire scope of the original trilogy if you have just the main core set. You have the entire scope of that, and the Empire's trying to find the rebel base that's hidden on one of those planets, and while you're going, there's a lot of political intrigue going on. You're trying to flip planets to the Rebellion. You're actually sending diplomats out, like Princess Leia. You can actually send all sorts of different characters from the movies to try to get these planets to go towards the Rebellion or to subjugate them for the Empire. You can actually send Darth Vader out to try to find Princess Leia. You got cards that come out that have things that happened in the movies, and you can actually play them out in real time. And when I love the fact also you can blow up planets and they're gone. They ain't coming back, not in that game. And you can have several Death Stars.
I already know who I'm going to be.
You do. But it's cool because it's if the Empire finds a rebellion, they might get away, but there's a strong chance the Empire's going to win. And there's like a timer element where if the Empire can't find the rebellion before the rebellion gets too popular, then they lose. And so it's a great game. It's a longer game. The first time you're going to play it, it's going to be between 3 to 4 hours. It's a 2-player game, but I think you can knock it down to between an hour and a half to 2.5 hours if you know what you're doing. It's a great game. It's definitely one I want you to get into because I think you'd love it.
Oh, promise.
I really do. It's a lot to it at first, but once you get it, it's like that.
Yeah.
I will say that the battle system, it's good, but it's slightly fiddly. I've heard that the expansion kind of cleans that up a little bit, but overall, it's a great game, no matter what. Anyway, that's my number 15, Star Wars Rebellion.
Welcome back. We had technical difficulties. Cause broken nail.
Broken nail. Excuse me for a second. Will you please do yours?
So my number 15 is a space game.
Okay.
Planet.
No.
What?
You're terraforming Mars?
Yes.
You're kidding! Dude,
Yes.
I was not expecting that till like number 1.
No.
Or at least the first list.
Yes.
What? You raved about it.
I raved about it, but I just haven't had a lot of plays of it lately.
Yeah, that's
Anytime
true.
we
But
talked about playing it, just haven't got to it, and there's just a lot more games that I've played since then
oh,
that I've
dude.
enjoyed a lot more.
You gotta be kidding me.
When you sit down and actually think
This is
about
the look of serious surprise.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it because you were so.
It's just, when you sit
crazy
down and you
about
start
it.
going over these lists, you start realizing, oh no, this. Oh wait a minute, I love this one better. And you just start moving things around.
Yeah,
especially when
yeah.
you got them on. You told me to do them on these index cards that really messed me up.
Yeah,
But-
because it makes you think. It really makes you think.
Terraforming Mars, I really like the engine building of this. I really love the overall theme of it.
Yeah.
The only thing that got me down was the production quality on your player card. That's the only thing.
And the cubes chipping and
yeah, but I mean, some of the stuff that really it was minor stuff. OCD
game's
still
brilliant
got
when
over
you
it.
do
But I mean, there's some other things you can buy to build those up.
right.
But I did love the fact that the way you built your resources up. I really love that aspect of it. I love some of the cards where it's to take that, where you strike a meteor in somebody's area and mess them up.
Makes no sense in some ways unless you're using a huge tractor beam.
I'm going to build this contraption.
That's right, baby.
Take that. No, I can't build over there. But I really love the overall theme of this game. I mean, when I first heard of it, saw it, I was like, man, we gotta get this game. We gotta play it, and we got it.
And Matt Damon, Martian.
There's some other games like that too, but that I really want to get a hold of. But I really love terraforming Mars. The aspect of terraforming the planet, oxygen, water. You have to get your water up to a certain level, your air up to a certain level before your heat rises.
And the oceans.
I love the different variants in there. It's amazing.
Wow. I'm dead serious, dude. I'm so serious. Because of the way you raved about it, and you were like, yeah, it replaces my other favorite game that used to be. I really thought this was going to be either number one or at least on the first list.
Two weeks ago, if we had played it like we had talked about playing it, I might have moved this back up.
The
list. But it's been over years since we played it, so...
No, it hasn't been over a year, has it? No, well, I've played it since
almost,
then.
Yeah, you played it since then. I couldn't make it that night. Kids were sick.
Yeah. Man, okay.
But
all right, well, that just totally threw me off on what your top 10 is going to be now. I'm dead serious. I thought it was Terraform Mars and everything else. I'm serious. I thought that's what you probably were going to... You were like, let me figure out what else everything is going to be. Okay, cool. Here comes our second crossover on the list. Number 14, King of Tokyo. Everything he said. Moving on.
Moving on from there. You're not going to elaborate on it.
No, I do love the game. Like he said, there's Yahtzee mechanic. I love the idea of big monsters rampaging and destroying each other. And I have some of the coolest stories from this game.
I do love I forgot to mention that I do love all the little additional cards that you get
to upgrade your monsters. Yes.
And things.
Oh, dude, and I do think this game shines with, well, it's not just the market, but I do think the game shines with the power-up expansion, because it makes each monster, instead of just being a nameless, well, they're named, but they're all the same, right? This actually differentiates the monsters. One can be better at healing, one can be better at destroying, whatever. And so there's another thing I really love. One of my favorite stories from this is we had a guy who was going to win the game one time, and it was funny because there were two times this happened. The first time, there was a guy who was going to win the game. He was just like a point or two away from winning. I think you got to get 20 points to win, or kill everybody else, but last person standing. And he was just getting ready to win, and he needed 6 hits to kill him. And it was Chad. It was Chad, a friend of ours, who rolled 6 claws to take this guy out. And this guy was like sitting pretty. He was ready to win. And it was funny because I think it was the very next round. Like after that game, we played another, because it's just one of those games you keep pulling out and playing over and over and over. It was not a long game. And it was crazy because it was the exact same scenario. He needed 5 hits to win. Same guy was about to win a few hits away, or a few points away. Chad rolled 5 claws, killed him. And it was like, you gotta be kidding me. What are the odds of that, I mean, it was one of the best things I'd ever seen. We were cracking up for like 10 minutes, all of us at the table. We couldn't believe it. Chad is not a guy who just games. He came over and played. He was like, this is cool. I'm going to kill everybody. So anyway, I won't belabor it. It's my number 14, King of Tokyo.
Well, my number 14 is a kind of a dead game.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Dead of Winter?
Yes.
You're kidding.
Dead of Winter.
Man, you're making me cry over here. I'm about to start weeping tears because I keep thinking that's going to be on top 10.
Yeah, you'll be surprised at some of the other ones on top 10.
I'm assuming I will. They better be amazing. Okay, Play better not be on your top 10 list. Okay, Play better not be on your top 10 list. I'm going to drag out that old chestnut. Go watch our top 5 of 2017 list that we did. You'll understand that joke.
Well, Dead of Winter, I mean, I've played it a couple times, and it takes me to The Walking Dead every time I play it.
That game does
the scenario where you have betrayers in there, you have different people trying to achieve different goals.
Just played it again last week.
Played it again, found a Negan type character.
Baseball bat.
Yeah, with a baseball bat and everything. So, I mean, you're going out you're searching, you're trying to survive. You got people that want to get rid of you so that they can survive. They have their own hidden agendas. Man. I really really dig this game. Probably if I played it more often,
it'd be on top
I'd probably
10.
go higher on this.
This game deserves to be on your top 10.
Oh, it probably does. But the other thing that gets me is that I'm kind of starting to get tired of the zombie games.
Yeah,
they're great to pull out, but for a while there, it's like everybody had a zombie game.
Yeah, it was like drinking from the fire hose.
Yeah, and
there's only so much you can do with undead shambling.
It seems like that's kind of the pattern people follow. Like, oh, this is cool, let's do it.
There are some good ones coming out, like Zombicide, Black Plague, Green Horde.
Yeah, I played
like
Zombicide once before, didn't finish the game, haven't played it since, but I would like to play it some more.
Yeah. My number 13. Cue the Jurassic Park music.
Really?
Dun, 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 yes. This game is worker placement. You are a bunch of geneticists and workers trying to build and CEOs.
Check my pulse rate.
And my number 13 is Dinosaur Island. This game is you're a bunch of CEOs who own different corporations. I can go ahead and draw your DNA and create a clone of you and actually get you to do what I want you to do.
I figured it would be higher up.
Dude, this game. Let me talk about it real quick. But you're a bunch of CEOs of different corporations, and you got geneticists, you've got park workers of different kinds, and you've got different phases in the game where you're just trying to create dinosaurs. You roll dice, you're trying to get DNA off that dice. You have a DNA cold storage, it's like resource management in that way. You've got a market phase where you're actually able to go and hire specialists that give you special abilities. They give you more workers. They can change the tenor of the game up so significantly. You can buy attractions like rides and lemonade stands and, was it the Whirly Ride? What was it? Dinosaur World? Dinosaur World or whatever. But anyway, there's also one. There's also one called Clever Grill, which is one of the funniest. Come on, man! Jurassic Park. This game exudes a Jurassic Park, and I'm kind of glad. And I said this on our review. Go check it out. I'm kind of glad they didn't get the license because they kind of play around with it, and there's a ton of puns in the game.
I think it's better if they didn't have the license.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
more creativity.
I really do think it's better, just because if you had the license, I think it'd be more of a disappointment.
Yeah. No, maybe.
I'm thinking
maybe.
That,
it just depends.
some of the licensed games kind of disappoint me.
And I'm extraordinarily excited for the new Kickstarter with Dualosaur Island coming out and the expansion Totally Liquid for this game, because this game was one of my favorite games of last year. And honestly, if I got it more to the table, because it is a table hog, if I got it more to the table more often, it would probably be up higher, maybe even on my top 10. It would, man, this game, I wish I could say it was higher, but there's just other games I like more. I love being able to create my own dinosaurs. I love being able to create my own park and try to keep your security level up so you don't have dinosaurs go out and eat people, which is always fun to watch. But and I love being able to get the metal coins, because we got the Kickstarter edition. Yeah. The metal coins in that game, the high quality production, Pandasaurus games, knocking it out of the park for me. Can't say enough good about it. I would talk about this all night. That's how great this game is. Number 13, Dinosaur Island. You should definitely check it out and check out our review of it.
My number 13 is about time travel. Time stories.
Yeah. Okay.
Time stories. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I love time stories is great because I
fully expect that on your list anyway.
You're going through. You're traveling. It's kind of like Quantum Leap. You're leaping back into somebody else's
what's that new series? I'm forgetting. It's some new series on Netflix, been out for about a year or so.
The Travelers.
Yeah.
Travelers. It's like the Travelers, too.
Co-op game, man.
I mean, it's great. You're going through the game with everybody else. You're trying to deduce what you have to do to complete the game and get to the end and win. And there's some things you may get to that have no significance at all. But there's some things you're going to find that
red herrings and dead ends, baby.
We're still trying to find out where one thing plays out in the rest of the expansions.
Yeah.
And this is the part where I'm going to let you cut this out if you don't want to watch this part of it, because I'm fixing to give some major spoilers.
Spoiler alert. He's about to say what he likes the most about it, so please
skip
leave
ahead about 5-10 minutes.
No. We'll put it on screen where you should skip ahead too, so you don't get spoiled if you have not played some of the time stories, because it can be very spoilerish.
Because this is a very big spoiler alert.
All right,
I'm gonna give you a minute. So, the best part about Time Stories I like is freaking zombies.
There it is. And you are a hypocrite for bringing that up after that little rant you said about zombies. I don't want to hear another word about it.
That's why these are on this part of the list and not my top 10.
That's still high, dude. It should have been on your... Well, anyway.
Well, it's just the part about...
shut up.
I like it because what got me loving this expansion on this one was that I had no clue. No clue
His face
whatsoever.
lit up the minute
I was like, what?
Zombies! I mean, he went crazy.
I went crazy on
Resident Evil.
So, I mean, going through the entire thing, just about zombies, about ready to bite our heads off, eat us up, and trying to make it through there.
The minute we got into it,
I was like, really?
That's like the first card.
Yeah,
the first cards are just like, oh my gosh.
It was like Goldmine right there.
It really was.
My number 13 is really Time Stories, the Marcy case.
All right. Spoiler over. Okay, so.
Welcome back.
My number 12 is going to be now our third crossover, dude. And I wasn't expecting it. Let's put it this way. No. I was not expecting it on this list for you. It's one I just went crazy about a few minutes ago. No, it's about terraforming Mars. I won't belabor the point. We just talked about it. I love everything he said about it. I love the resource management in the game. I love the idea of being able to terraform Mars, and a lot of it. I like the idea also when you pull the cards to play that there's different types of cards. Some that continually give you powers. Some that like you can grow algae, you can grow bushes, you can make lakes. And
one thing I will say I forgot to mention before is that I love the drafting.
Yeah, the drafting version of it is the best in my opinion.
Yes.
But I love it because everything works thematically in that game. Like it really is deeply
it does
thematic.
Draw you in.
It is a longer game. And I wouldn't necessarily say I'd want to play it with more than 4 players because it will drag out, but it is a great game. You are engrossed the entire time and you feel cool building what you build.
And you don't really have to worry about what anybody else is doing.
No.
You can focus on what you're doing.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean you can still focus on what you're doing. So you do have some downtime, but you're focusing, but you don't have to worry about what John is doing over there or Jimmy. You can do your own thing.
Yeah, but that's that for me. I'm not going to belabor it. Terraforming Mars, my number 12, amazing game. There's a reason it won a ton of awards. I do wish the production quality was better, like he said, but I agree with him on that. You can check our review out on that. We kind of talked about that, but anyway, that's it. Alrighty, so you're number 12, sir.
So my number 12, this is going to be another crossover.
Man, we're having a lot on this one. Some I had no idea what was going to happen.
So think buildings.
New York 1901, yeah. That or
for the same reasons that we talked about earlier with when Kas brought it up. I love it. It also kind of gives me that kind of Carcassonne feel, putting down tiles.
Yeah, you just like being a capitalist, baby. Capitalism, man. Yes. That's how our country was built. So,
but I mean, not gonna go into it any more than that since we already went over it a few minutes ago. So New York 1901.
You were hooked on that game the minute you saw it. Oh, man. Yeah. It hit all the right points for both of us.
It just bam.
Blue orange games again.
They got great production quality.
So here is my number 11. This game, this may actually surprise you to a certain extent where it is. You might have expected this on the next list. This game, I was not expecting to ever see come into our offices. It is an extraordinarily immersive game. It's a little bit of a longer game, but when you go into this world, you don't want to come out because everything in this game is narrative driven. Okay. And it is a post-apocalyptic game in a box. If you want Mad Max in the sense of the world and it's alive and you can do anything you want in it in a sandbox, this is the game to go with. Fallen Land, a post-apocalyptic board game by Fallen Dominion Studios. My number 11.
That is 11.
What do you think it was going to be on 10?
Thought it'd at least be somewhere between 5 and 10. maybe 6.
Let me go with full disclosure. This company is our sponsor, okay? But even before they started even talking to us about being a sponsor, okay, they never mentioned it to us. When we did the review, I think it was in September, okay? I want to say it was in September. When we did that review, we had never heard of them. I had never heard of this. You did, I think.
I came across it on Kickstarter, looked at it.
Thought it looked great.
What got me the board really didn't look that inviting, but the theme is what really... And then once we got it, it was so immersive, it's just like drooling. Yeah,
this game, if you are somebody who is into RPGs, you don't even have to be somebody who likes RPGs to like it, but if you're into RPGs and you like that story-driven narrative style sandbox world, like if I want, I can go get me a big rig and drive across that land, and my big rig's gonna have armor. I can pick up a hitch to go with that big rig, like a trailer to go with it to add more stuff. I love the encumbrance system where you got a party of people, you send them out into the waste, and you're trying to bring back resources for your town. You're trying to go onto this massive map of the United States. It's post-apocalyptic. There's radiation zones. There's mutants out there. You don't know what you're going to run into in the waste. There's also missions to complete. We found a daggum casino one of the first times we ever played it, and you may never find that casino again, not for 10, 15 games. Yeah. I think I'm probably exaggerating a little, but there's about 600 cards in this game. And I love the game before they even sponsored me or sponsored our channel, and then with the expansion, which adds so many extra variants into the game, adds a solo mode, which the solo mode was actually really cool because there's so many variants involved in that. The game's amazing. The game is amazing, and I am saying that again. I was saying that before. We were both saying that before we even got sponsored. So, it had to be on the list. It was going to be one of my favorite games now of all time. I said that even, I think, in that review. I may have said it. I said it was like it was going to be in the top 15 games.
We also had...
Or you said it one. I don't remember.
Top 5 of 2017.
Yeah. It was on my top 5 of 2017. And again, that was before the sponsorship. So, you should check it out. Again, it is a longer game. It is definitely more immersive. It takes a bit longer. It is going to take some time to teach, but I think about 3 or 4 rounds in, you start really starting to roll. And there are variants in the game where you can actually change the game up to however you want to play, so you can lessen the time, make it a little bit simpler to play. Yeah. The game's amazing.
And the rule book is phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, that rule book has spoiled me.
One thing that sold it when he started reading that rule book. Because
we have to read, or I specifically have, because we review games, I have to read so many rule books. It's nice to have a rule book that was actually very well thought out. If I had a question, what was I doing? Oh, index. I found it. I think every single question I had, I didn't have to worry about it.
Like we said before, this really was a labor of love.
And it took them 13 years to make it. So, awesome game. Check it out. Definitely look into it. Fallen Land, post-apocalyptic board game. My number 11. How about you, sir?
My number 11, you will probably never see this coming.
Okay, play.
Exactly, no.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was
This is a hidden movement game.
Nuns on the Run?
Nuns on the Run, no. I don't think
Fury of Dracula?
No.
Okay.
This is 3 players.
3 players.
Bushido Breaker.
You gotta be kidding me.
Dude, I loved that game when we first played that, man. That was freaking phenomenal.
That was a Kickstarter we reviewed last year, and it funded. That's why it's okay to be on this list. But wow, I knew you loved it, but you're right, I wouldn't have guessed that. I had no idea you loved it that much.
I loved the hidden movement on it. It was just so much fun moving around and fooling you. And I think North was involved in that.
You backed it, or it shouldn't be on this list.
If I had the money at the time, I would have backed it.
I'm kidding.
But
wow,
just the hidden movement part of that, and the fun aspect of moving around, and
being a samurai, ninjas,
and never knowing where I was.
Yeah.
I fooled you all that entire game.
Yeah, that game was actually pretty fun. I have to say.
I'm trying to
see about buying it.
Yeah. I'm definitely trying to get that.
I would be down to play that again. That's a fun game. Yeah. I didn't expect to have as much fun as I was going to have with it, honestly.
Yeah, I'd love to get that. Teach the kids how to play that, and the samurais. You're moving around. You have different You have all these cards lined up. You take a pencil and paper. You're gonna kind of write down where you're going.
Kind of like playing Spectre Ops a little bit.
I really need to get a hold of the finished copy to see how that whole aspect of it works. But I really enjoyed playing this as far as like hiding around, using different cards to mask where I'm going, smoke bombs, and then throwing stars and such. It just really grasped me. I think it's that whole Japanese theme right there, plus with the hidden movement and fooling you the entire game. It's like
I almost had you several times in a few of those.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah.
But
it is really cool. It is a really cool game.
I really enjoy that. Bushido Breaker, number 11.
Well, seppuku. So another fun list, man. A lot of surprises.
A lot of crossover.
I love doing this, and this was like a test run for us to begin with. I love doing this because we get to know a little bit more. Because again, Terraform Mars, I thought that was going to be number 1.
Yeah.
I mean, I seriously, I was like
sitting there and like taking these cards, setting them out. Like, okay, I like that one, like that one, like that. Oh no, we're going to take that one out. We're going to do this. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. No, we're going to do this one now. I got these
Told
right
you
here.
That would work.
It's just.
So what did you? What about my list? Did you have any that you were really seriously surprised?
Well, I mean, shocked that Fallen Land was on this list. Time Stories, I figure would be not Time Stories. I'm sorry. Terraforming Mars, I thought would be
really
on this list. I don't know. It just
I like the game a lot, obviously, but
I just thought it would be on that other one.
Not top 10 yet.
Amen.
I know several that are going to be on your top 10 now. I already know because I didn't hear a couple of key ones I was looking for on this list, and I'm sitting here going, really? They're gonna be on your top 10? But hey, that's your top 10, man. Rock and roll. Anyway, we thank you so much for this little joyride we had joining us on the joyride. We had a lot of fun doing this list. Thank you so much for tuning in. And by the way, do you agree with the list, or have you played any of these games on the list? Were you surprised by some of them that were on this list? Some of you who know us.
Do you think Kas should bump some of them up?
We'll see about what our top 10 says, right? Anyway, stay tuned for that. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe if you haven't yet. We'd love to keep on bringing content for you. I hope you're enjoying it. Thank you so much. You have a blessed day.
Game away.
Game away.